76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And according to Forbes, 93% of business owners pay more than legally required to pay in income tax. And nearly 50% of all Americans have bad credit, but not you. At least not anymore. See, this is the School of Wealth, where you learn how to maximize your credit, minimize your taxes, and multiply your assets so you can create generational wealth. Hi, I'm Rondi Lambeth, certified FICO credit professional, author, speaker, and tax strategist. For the last 20 years, I've helped tens of thousands of Americans just like you take control of their money, fix their credit, wipe out their debt, cut their taxes by 50%, and multiply their assets. If you're ready to break free from the rat race and start building a life of freedom and abundance, then you're in the right place. Welcome to the School of Wealth. Hey, Jon, welcome to the show.
Hey, Ronnie, how are you?
Good. In studio today, I have Jon McCarty with Death Row Meals, not to be confused with Death Row Records.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. We've got an app that we're launching here shortly that connects people with really great meals that are worthy of being your last on earth. And we're also trying to reduce food waste while we do it.
Cool. How was your drive all the way out here to the farm?
It was shorter than I thought it was going to be.
Was it?
Yeah. But once I got here, it's a cool area. I haven't been out here before.
Yeah. I had a guest the other day and they were a little late. They're like, I didn't know you lived so far out into the boonies. Yeah.
Well, when I plugged it into Google Maps, it just said like the township or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Excuse me. I am just getting over a horrible cold. So I apologize for the coughing, Jon. I did not want to cancel on you because I think I had to cancel on you before or reschedule or.
Yeah, no worries.
So I was like, I woke up this morning and Amanda's like, I think you need to call Jon and postpone. I'm like, I'm going to power through. So I've been sucking down cough syrup all day, hoping to get through this whole thing. So,
all right. Well, I appreciate it.
So hopefully I don't cough too much.
Yeah, no worries.
So this is a new company for you, Death Row Meals, right?
Correct. So we're still in the startup phase. We are pre-launch right now, but we should be launching in the next couple of weeks where people can go in, submit their Death Row meal, and start to browse other people's.
This is not your first company, though.
Correct. Yeah. So over a decade ago, I started an EdTech company and grew that over the course of 13 years. I still own 100% of that company and it still does very well. But shifting focus from that, the team is really handling a lot of the heavy lifting on that company now and looking to focus on a new venture.
So you said something that really scares me when people say that. You own 100%. That's super scary for me.
Yeah.
I live by the life of own nothing, control everything.
Okay.
When you own something, people can take it away from you.
Sure.
And the world that we live in, the litigious world that we live in, there are bad people out there that just want to take your stuff. You know, the Bernie Sanders of the world, that they hate the rich. They're not there to help the poor. They just hate the rich.
Yeah.
So, but with the EdTech, what's your EdTech?
Yeah. So we help people to prepare for the law school admission test, the GRE standardized tests for graduate school. So when people want to go to law school, they want to go on and get an advanced degree. That's kind of the gatekeeper is that test. And we prep them up for that. Typically, we focus on one-on-one in-person prep. And, post-COVID, we're about the only people left who want to do that. Okay. So we've got a pretty good foothold in that particular niche.
Is that nationwide then?
It is, yeah. Yep.
And it's still one-on-one?
Yep.
Okay.
We still primarily focus on one-on-one. We do have a few classes that we're starting to launch and that are gaining some traction, but most of our effort and most of our customers come to us for that one-on-one in-person prep.
How many people have gone through your program in the last 10 years?
Oof, thousands.
How do you manage thousands of students, clients, customers with one-on-one? I mean,
we hire really great tutors.
Okay.
Yeah. So we hire tutors in each of the locations in which we serve, and we just hire phenomenal people.
I got you. So you hire a bunch of tutors, like here in Boise, you would hire a tutor. And then if I wanted to apply for law school, I would go and meet with that person one-on-one.
Correct.
Then you keep them fairly busy and booked up.
Yep. Yeah. And so we do all the training, we provide all the resources, we've got books and things like that that all of the students will get. We've got our perfect fit guarantee. We make sure we get you to the right tutor. If that's not the right fit, we'll get you to somebody who is. So we do that matching process and get everybody together. We train the tutors, and then we really rely on them to just go out and crush it. And they do.
I was just thinking of there's a guy I follow on Instagram. It's probably inappropriate for this conversation, but I've already brought it up. So, and he is a jet broker. So he arranges private travel. And there was this very wealthy, well, she's not wealthy. Her dad's a billionaire, but it was one where she had hired a tutor from Spain, and she's in England, and she was ordering a jet. And he goes, well, is it overnight? And she goes, well, he's really cute, so it might be overnight. So that's not the kind of tutoring that you have, right?
Not typically.
Sorry for that. The coughing.
No worries.
So you've been doing that now 10 years.
Yep.
Do you have, are these tutors, are they 1099 contractors? Are they employees? How's that work?
Yep. 1099 contractors, and they set their own schedules. They teach the way they want to teach. And that's part of our matching process too. We want to have different tutors with different styles because we get a lot of different students with different styles. We want to individualize it. So
different learning styles.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Yeah. And that's the hardest thing, is just getting that match correct. Once you have it, it's like magic. Yeah. So that's what we've spent 10 years perfecting.
What's your pass rate pre your coaching, tutoring versus after your?
Yeah. So the LSAT and similar tests are not pass fail. Even students who are coming to us, they're like, I want to pass the LSAT. And we're like, well, it's not really something you can do. But our students usually go up about 20 points on the LSAT. So if you start at a 150, you're kind of below the median. If you add 20 points to that, you're in the top 3%.
I got you. Yep. My middle child, my daughter, who's a nurse, it was like an 85% failure rate on I think it's called the NCLEX, something like that. And one of my friends, who's also a nurse, went and started a similar like school, but it's all online, and he teaches he teaches students how to pass. Now it's like 99% pass rate.
That's phenomenal. Yeah.
So she went through that, and she was telling me that once you hit a certain percentage, it's kind of like the DMV tests. You know, if there's 1,000 questions, as soon as you hit your 70%, the test just shuts off.
Oh, that's good.
And you don't have to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
with the LSAT, they make you sit through the whole thing.
Yeah. So there's no pass fail. It's it's a score then.
Right. How good of a school will you be able to get into? What kinds of scholarships will those schools offer you?
Okay.
The higher the score, the better the result.
I got you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I think a lot of people ask. I went to college to get my certificate in emergency management. I never got any degree or anything.
Okay.
And I've never been a big proponent of going to school unless it's like for a purpose.
Sure.
Like law.
Yeah.
Doctor,
medicine.
medical.
Yeah, for sure.
And I had one of my nephews the other day ask me, he's like, I want to be a millionaire. Like, what do I got to do? I'm like, you can do one of a couple things: become a plumber, a welder, electrician, an HVAC person, learn how to do drywall. And that's in my opinion, that's like the fastest way to become a millionaire right now, because you skip the 4 to 8 years of school.
And all the expense.
Yeah. My neighbor behind me he's a welder. And then to the left of him, you can't quite see it on the other side of that, my big pond back there.
Yeah.
He's a plumber with Beacon Plumbing, which
they're huge.
Stop freaking, call Beacon.
Call
right?
Beacon. That's a great line.
And then the one to the left of him is a roofer.
And
then left of him is a electrician.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a millionaire, that's, I think, one of the fastest way to get there is.
And it's AI proof too.
And it's AI proof.
Yeah.
For now.
It's going to be a while till I think we get like autonomous robots and can come out and fix your roof or do your plumbing. I did see a robot roofing a building the other day. Wow.
On social media.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That's wild.
It was literally they put this robot up there.
Like a humanoid robot or?
No, it wasn't like a humanoid robot. It was like a big machine, like what you'd see building cars.
Yeah.
And it was stripping the roofing tiles off and then putting the new ones down.
As it was stripping?
It was so fast.
That is cool.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be a long ways away.
Yeah.
And I think it is AI proof. I don't know about robot proof, but for a while.
For a while.
And I don't see how the robots are going to go in and do plumbing and electrical for a while.
It's hard. Yeah. We had a leak today and we had the plumber out and, just drip, drip, drip down out of the light fixture in the basement. And we're just like, okay, guy comes out, he does his thing.
How long was he there?
He was there 3 hours.
Yeah. How much you pay him?
I didn't get the bill. My wife looked at it, but it's definitely a few $100, if not getting up to $1,000 plus.
Yeah.
But the value's there. For us to not have a leak in the house is very valuable.
Yeah, very valuable. And then, you got to fix it. You can't keep it leaking. And then the mold and all that other stuff.
And he came out quick too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What was the reason that you started this business? Is this your first business that you had? The educational one?
Yeah, it is. So I was right out of college when I started it. And I had taken the LSAT. And that's how it kind of all got started. I did pretty well on the LSAT. I was a couple points away from perfect and started teaching, just like kind of putting up Craigslist ads. This is back in 2010, right?
Okay.
And, I was tutoring and kind of got built up my book of business. And I wanted to launch classes, but my wife decided to go to medical school in Ireland. At the time we were living in Atlanta, and that's where I was trying to build the business out of. So I moved to Ireland and started my company in 2013 officially, and then built a remote team from there. So we were one of the first companies to be fully remote. Everything as far as our admin team was fully remote. And then we would have contractors in each individual city to, meet with the students and do in-person tutoring.
So you saw a need. Is that something that you went to college for, to learn business, or would you go to college?
Yeah,
for?
I did business management as my undergrad with a certificate in entrepreneurship. So running my own business was always the path for me. It's just always has been what I wanted to do. I thought I was going to run my own law firm, but instead, helping people to get into law school and now helping people find really great food and,
I want to talk about that a little bit more. I'd like to kind of get the background of how you got into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody should be an entrepreneur.
I don't think so either.
It's a brutal life.
There's some tough moments.
Yeah.
There's some tough months, even where you're not sure.
There's some tough years.
There's some tough years. Yeah, absolutely. And I took a little bit, and not a pit stop, but maybe a detour in maybe 5, 6, 7 years in and started investing in real estate. And so that's also been a passion of mine, is investing in real estate and building that portfolio as, to make sure that financially we have another source of income in case one of the business ventures falls through.
What's your favorite thing to invest in real estate? Do you have a niche that you pick, or is it just anything that makes money?
So the niche that we're in right now, and it's probably because we're maybe inexperienced. We only have, 7 or 8 doors. But I like big houses that we then either convert to smaller units and run and do Airbnb. So we have a big house near the Whitewater Park, and it's got an ADU and then a unit above the ADU. And so we've kind of split that up, and we've got 4 units running out of there on Airbnb. Been super profitable, and is great. It's appreciating like crazy.
And you manage that yourself?
So my wife managed it for a while, but we've transitioned into having our outsourced team out of the Philippines manage it.
Okay.
So they do a great job. I've been working with the same team for years and years and years out of the Philippines. They help me run my primary business as well. And they're helping me launch this new business. Phenomenal people.
I'm not going to call it a loophole, because I don't like that term, loopholes. There is a part of our Internal Revenue Code that says that if you manage your own short-term rental and you do 7 days or less, that you can qualify as a real estate professional without doing 750 hours a year. You only have to do 100. So the advantage of you managing it yourself, and if you're using Filipinos, that still qualifies as you managing yourself.
Right. She manages that.
Yes. So she could qualify, and your CPA probably already does this, but she can qualify as a real estate professional, which then allows you to depreciate that short-term rental against your W-2 income.
Yeah.
And then because I'm assuming that one of your other companies, either an S election It's not just an LLC.
It's an S, yeah.
So you probably have a salary, W-2 salary. Yeah.
Yep.
So the only way to offset your payroll taxes on your W-2 is the short-term rental business. If your wife qualifies as a real estate professional, now you can offset all of that.
Right. And she does. Yeah. So we came across this when we first purchased that property. There was a lot of improvements that needed to be done. So I popped on a bunch of real estate podcasts, and I would listen to them while I'm over there working for hundreds of hours and learn a lot of things. So we do the cost aggregation analysis. We accelerate the depreciation. She qualifies as real estate professional from running them. And she keeps the log and has 750 hours every year. Yeah. So we're meticulous about that. And that's all about document. I call it my triple Ds, document so you can defend it and then you can deduct it. Yeah.
Did she finish medical school?
She did. Yeah. And she was practicing doctor in the hospitals in Ireland. They do kind of a general rotation first. We had our first daughter, and we kind of reevaluated life at that point. She wanted to spend more time with the kids, and she decided to walk away from medicine and raise the kids. And now the kids are getting older. My youngest is entering kindergarten. So we've got kind of like the whole day is now open. So she's starting to shift her focus to writing. So she's got 2 fantasy books that are coming out here shortly. And she's in the final stages of putting out the finishing touches, the cover, the getting the feedback from the beta readers and things like that. So
is she in, what's your wife's name?
Neve.
Is she, I don't think she's in my girlfriend's SLP with Amanda and Gina.
No, but I know they spent some time together at that recent SLP event.
I think so. Yeah. Because she was telling me about somebody had the Airbnb down there with the 80 unit. We had brunch down there last weekend by the surf park.
Yeah. It's cool. Great down there.
It really is.
It's cool.
I was telling my daughter that my daughter's boyfriend's son lives with them. And once, I think he's 17. So once he moves out on his own, I was telling her, because she loves the Greenbelt. I was like, there's a really nice luxury apartment complex now right on the river.
Yeah. Is it that
west of you?
That new one, that huge one that kind of they just put in? And
it's like the terrace. Goes back and it's got all the restaurants and bars.
Yeah, that looks sweet.
Yeah, that would be really cool to live right there.
Yeah,
right on the Greenbelt.
For sure. Yep.
You already know the game is rigged, but what you might not know is there's a legal way to flip the script. I'm hosting a live 3-day workshop called Winning the Tax Game. Inside, I'll show you exactly how I've paid just a few $100s in income tax over the last 10 years, legally, ethically, and by the book. You'll learn how to turn your biggest expenses into the biggest business tax write-offs. You'll learn how to bulletproof your assets from frivolous lawsuits and how to play by the real IRS rulebook, the one the wealthy use. If you're a business owner and you're sick of giving 30 to 50% of your profit over to your silent partner, the IRS, then go to winningthetaxgame.com and reserve your seat. If you're listening to this right now, use promo code School of Wealth at the checkout to get $100 off the price of admission. Let's stop donating to the IRS. It's time you learn how to win. So go to winningthetaxgame.com and get registered today. So how many kids do you have?
2.
2?
5 and 7.
5 and 7. Boy and girl?
Both girls.
Both girls.
Yeah.
Are you going to have more?
No, we're done. Yeah. Okay. So we got 2 girls. We decided to not chance it any further. And so our youngest is 5 turning 6 and starting kindergarten. So we're excited for that.
Very cool. So you have the 10-year-old business, and then you're starting the new one, which is Death Row Meals.
Yep.
And the way you explained it to me when we had coffee the other day was if you were on death row, you get to pick your own meal.
Right.
And you have this app that it will use AI with your preferences, and then it will create your death row meal.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more of a matching process, because actually having this conversation with you, it's the first time that I've put this together, that like maybe one of my core skills is like matching people together and preferences together. That's what we built the education business on. And that's what this app is a lot about. So people will submit into the app what their death row meal would be, which we have defined as, a meal from a restaurant that's local to you. So if I was going to die tomorrow, I would get the fiery seafood from Nam tonight. That's what I would eat. So I put that into the app, and everybody puts their meals in. And then so what the AI does is it comes in when I'm hungry and I want to go out to eat, but maybe I don't want to have my death row meal. I want to get something a little bit different. It will recommend to me your death row meal because it knows that you and I have similar tastes as each other, given my taste profile and your taste profile. And then so it'll match you up with various different people's death row meals for you to then discover great meals that you may not have otherwise.
You know, this AI thing and ChatGPT and all of it and Gronk and all of it, it is fascinating and scary at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah. So I've been in 5 states over the last week, hence the little cough and cold that I got from traveling so much. But an event, I spoke at a credit repair event in Houston last week, and one of the girls said, "Hey, what's your ChatGPT avatar look like?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, log into your ChatGPT and ask what you look like and have it describe you.
Ooh. And
it sent me back a description of me that, other than having a shaved head, the rest of it was like spot on.
Wow.
Including the beard. Like,
That's
how
freaky.
did it know I have a beard? And how does it know that I wear suits and ties and that? Like, it was about, on the phone, it was probably like 5 screens of describing me and what kind of personality I had and how I interact with people, how I carry myself, how I speak. It was fascinating. And I don't spend that much time on it.
Yeah.
It is going to be really, the next 10 years is going to be one hell of a ride.
It is going to be one hell of a ride. And I want to be on the surfboard riding the wave.
Yeah.
And not someone who gets crashed over by it.
I use it almost daily now. And my daughter uses it. My daughter runs, she's a producer of the podcast. She also does all of the social media. And I know she uses it constantly for all the social media stuff.
It's great for content. Yeah.
It is. And I use it mainly for the tax business. Just checking on stuff, Internal Revenue Code and stuff, because it's 40,000 pages.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to read all of that. But ChatGPT, you can type something in and almost instantly you get back a response.
How much do you trust it that the response is accurate?
So here's what I learned about the ChatGPT is it wants to make you happy.
Yeah.
So you got to be really careful with that. And so I've started using Gronk to where it's just factual.
Okay.
So I will double check it.
Because I will too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I'll do is I'll put in my question and it'll give me a part of the Internal Revenue Code.
Then you know where to go.
And then I go and look at it and then I read it, because I've found a couple mistakes.
Yeah.
But what's interesting on the tax side is Forbes did a study a while back. It said 93% of business owners pay more than legally required to pay in taxes.
I'm sure that they do.
Almost $12,000 more.
Wow.
And then they took 1,000 tax returns that the 8 largest CPA firms had filed, ran it through an AI, and 100% of them had 10,000 plus that they overpaid using their CPA. So it's fascinating how you can use that in pretty much any of your businesses. So,
and that seems like a great use case for it too, right? You're digging through volumes of text through the IRS code and figuring out how does that apply to these very specific like numbers and tables that we have here.
Well, 99% of the tax code, the 40,000 pages, 99% is how to legally not pay taxes. We're the only country in the world that's a voluntary tax system. And people will sometimes confuse that with you don't have to pay income taxes. That's not what it says, but it's voluntary how much you pay. That our code allows you to go out and do things to where you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
I filed my taxes. I signed it on Sunday, and I paid a whopping $356 last year.
Okay.
In taxes.
Yeah.
So I think this year I'll end up paying about $500 because I'm going to have a little bit better year than I did last year. And primarily, I was showing you the field where I keep my cows.
Yeah.
Primarily, the $356 was the tax on the
like the agriculture,
selling the cows.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. It technically wasn't income tax. It was in order to get the ag reduction on my property taxes.
Right.
I got to show some profit. I can't just deduct everything.
Yep.
Otherwise, I can't get the $9,000 discount on my property tax. So I'd rather pay $356 to save $9,000.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
So back to Death Row Meals. That's still in beta.
It is. Yeah.
Do you have any restaurants yet that have picked up on this?
So we don't. Right now, we're working on getting the MVP, the minimum viable product, the beta version of the app out and into the hands of users. And then as we start to gather those, we're going to approach restaurants. And because one thing we'll need is to get some images of the meals. We want the app to be very image forward. And then talk to them about what their pain points are as far as food waste, food management, and seeing how we can change consumer behavior to alleviate some of that food waste. Because, I mean, it causes, it's just waste in general. Nobody wants that, but causes a ton of greenhouse gases. The economic impact of wasting food for restaurants is huge. So we've got like all the incentives aligned. We just need to find solutions.
Be interesting to see how things start to change. Last week when I was traveling, I went to the largest regenerative largest regenerative cattle ranch in the world. And it's in Georgia, in a town called Bluffton, Georgia.
Bluffton. Is that like North Georgia?
South Georgia.
South Georgia.
Yeah,
okay.
2.5 hour drive from Panama City, Florida.
Okay.
It's the poorest county in the United States.
Really?
Yeah. And I met Will Harris. He's the owner. It's been in his family since 1866. And it was really cool. We spent the night in one of his cabins. And the next morning I got up and I said to Amanda, let's go have breakfast at the general store, which is a store. And then they have a restaurant with a food truck outside that makes all the food.
Okay, yeah.
Because this building's been there since 1866, so It doesn't have a kitchen in it.
Right, yeah.
So when I walked in, there was an older gentleman standing there, and I had my service animal, Sawyer, with me. And he just said something like, "That's a really well-behaved dog," because Sawyer's rarely ever on a leash.
Okay.
And we started talking about a dog, and turns the guy actually owned the whole ranch that we were staying on. It's 3,800 acres.
Wow.
So he's like, "What are you here for?" And I said, "Oh, we're here to see the ranch." And we start talking, and he's like, "Well, how about I show you?" So then he took the next 4.5 hours just driving us around in his Jeep, showing how he raises the cattle. So he's got 10 different types of animals, sheep and goats and pigs and cows and chickens and rabbits, horses. I don't know what the other ones are. But what they do is instead of just keeping all of the cows in a feedlot, feeding them grain,
right,
the cows will be in one area for a month.
Okay.
So they're there for a day and they eat it. And then they leave, and then they bring the sheep in, and then they bring the pigs in.
Okay.
And what that does is, with all the different types of manure, he's taken it from an industrial farm to what they call a regenerative farm.
Yeah.
And he was showing us samples of his side of the fence versus the industrial side of the fence where the other ranchers are. And his dirt has 10.5 times more carbon in it. So it was 5.5 whatever parts per million carbon, where the neighbor's like half, which means things don't grow.
Right.
And it doesn't absorb the water. And he was showing us videos, like when it rains, the difference in the pollution.
I saw some runoff videos that were wild.
Yeah. And he's got like that YouTube where the runoff, and you can see the different colors.
Yeah.
So he was on Joe Rogan's podcast twice now. And that's kind of how we found out about him. We have a blockchain.
Sure.
So we were going there to meet with his daughter, not with him. And I just happened to run into him. But they have no waste. So they slaughter 25 cows a day. They take the skin, they make leather out of it. They take all the bones, they grind them up, and they put them in compost piles. And then over a 7-year period, they mix the peanut shells from the peanut farms. And then when they trim the trees, they run that through a wood chipper. They mix the mulch in it.
Sure.
And then they make this compost. And then that's what they spread on the ground. They'd use no fertilizers, no hormones, no antibiotics in their cows, their pigs, or their sheep, or their chickens. So it was just really cool seeing. And so what made me think of that is when you were saying how much waste these restaurants do.
Yeah.
That it's a shame. I've been to many of them because I showed you my chickens.
Yeah.
And I've gone to these restaurants and asked if I could have like their food waste. And they'll say stuff like, no, it's against county code or city code. And it's a shame. They're just throwing that in the landfill.
And they're paying to throw that in the landfill too.
Where they could literally have like a side bucket, if you will, or dumpster for farmers, people like me that could go in and feed that waste to the chickens, which then poop all over the ground.
Right.
And what Will was telling me was when he was an industrial farmer, rancher, every day he looked for something he could kill on his land, like weeds. And he said, now he doesn't put anything down on it because what happens when you have cows and pigs and chickens and goats and sheep, the cows will just eat it.
Yeah.
And if the cow doesn't eat, the sheep eat it. And the sheep don't eat it,
that pig
the pigs eat it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have to control for any of this waste.
Yeah.
So it was really fascinating just seeing how I think hopefully we can start doing more regenerative farming.
Yep.
Because it is really detrimental to the environment. And I watched this Netflix documentary on climate change and pollution, and you can see it happening right around April when the farmers go in and start tilling the ground and all the dust goes up and you see like this cloud cover the United States of just pollution. It's not pollution, but it's
fine particles.
Fine particles. My girlfriend could tell you the exact name of it, but it's dust basically.
Yeah.
And then we breathe that in and then that's our topsoil. And
I mean, there's the topsoil crisis going on where we're just depleting it.
Yeah.
Basically as fast as we possibly can.
What Will said that is in 60 years, if we do not stop, in 60 years, we won't have enough topsoil in the United States to grow anything.
Right.
So they have to reverse it.
Yep.
And it's fascinating with with AI, what they're able to figure out now.
Yep.
They just released a study that showed 1 pound of vegan burger, the Impossible Burger, produces 10 times the amount of pollution as 1 pound of beef.
Sure.
So it's the opposite of what Bill Gates is saying about the cow's methane gas.
Plus, just the highly processed nature of those artificial meats seems to me to be a no-go territory.
You know,
it seems
you see how that stuff is made. Like, I saw a video the other day with chicken nuggets, how they were just like grinding it all up and it was just gross. But
any sort of chicken nugget, whether it's real meat or fake meat, I don't think you'd want to watch the process.
No. It's pretty gross. But,
you
know, it's fascinating though. I'm excited about the future in the next 10 years to see what AI will do.
Yeah.
So what your app is, it's going to you'll go find restaurants, and then my daughter's a big foodie.
Yeah.
For me, I look for a couple things. Does it have steak, fish, or steak?
Yeah.
Or eggs. You know, my death row meal would be probably a filet with poached eggs.
Great.
So my daughter, though, she loves all kind of foods. So the AI would then learn her preferences, and then she could go on and say, hey, I don't want to go have my death row meal tonight, but where should I go tonight?
Yeah. What should I have?
What should I have?
And it'll pull up the meal. So for you, as you're swiping through the app, it's going to be steak after steak, you know, but
is it going to be a swipe right?
Yeah.
Swipe left?
Yeah. So it'll be super quick. If you like the meal that's in front of you, go for it. If you don't, you can, swipe until you find something that kind of hits you in the moment. Because
how are you going to manage the photography of the food? Because I watched this thing on either TikTok or Instagram. I can't remember which one, but they were showing how they actually do the photography. Like they were using motor oil on pancakes for Denny's instead of actual syrup. And how they use all kind of different things to make it look really good. Or they'll put like cardboard in a hamburger to make it
to fluff it up. Yeah.
So my daughter tells me all the time, you need to do a better job taking your pictures for Instagram. Because she takes these beautiful pictures of food. And I'm just not much of a person to take pictures of my food to show with the world what I eat. Sometimes I do, but
Yeah.
Because most of them are tax deductible, especially when it's a really good meal. And I'm like, tax deductible meal.
Let's document this. Yeah. And some people are, some people aren't, as far as taking pictures of their meals. I'm not really a person who does that. I did it for my death row meal, and I felt really awkward about it because it's not something that I typically do. So we don't want to ask people to have to do that. Right now, we have a photography team that will go out and actually take an image of that meal, like a professional photograph of the meal. And that's also like our intro to the owners of the restaurants, the chefs. And then we get into that conversation of, how can we help serve you guys and reduce your food waste and get people in here ordering this amazing meal that you have. And then we start driving, traffic to them.
Very cool. So how far out are you to launching it with your first restaurant, you think?
I would say 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's going to come up here quick.
Yeah. And you're going to launch here in Boise?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the plan. Start locally. We'll have a big launch party and have everybody that we know over, and we can all hang out, have a good time, and everyone can load their meals into the app so that we get a nice big list of people's death row meals, so that we have a nice variety of meals to start with, and then have them start using the app. And we'll be talking with them, seeing what's working, see where they're finding value, where they're not, what features they may need, or what problems they need solved. And we'll continue to iterate the product until we feel like we have something super strong, and then push more nationally.
Have you been to Pig Latin yet?
I've not.
Eagle and State Street?
Is that the barbecue joint?
No, it's like a Mexican steakhouse fusion.
Pig Latin. No.
It's been open for maybe 2 months now. It's right on the river.
Oh, cool.
State Street and Eagle. It's really good. Have you been to Koa, the new Koa?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then just down the street from my house is a new breakfast place with a line out the door. There was a Dick's in there that couldn't stay in business, and they're like, it's a bad location, and now the breakfast place is just packed 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So it's not really a location.
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating. That'll make all of your research and development, all of it tax deductible for you and your wife and kids to go.
I know it's going to be really hard R&D going out and eating all those phenomenal meals. Yeah,
exactly.
So
what's your favorite as a business owner? Because this show, I try to help. I do 3 things on the show: teach people how to maximize their credit, minimize their debt and taxes, and then multiply their assets. And that's essentially what I've been doing. That's what you've been doing with your real estate.
Yes.
And there's so many experts on social media that it's like most of them don't know anything about anything. I was at this credit event. There's over 5,000 registered credit repair people there, or 5,000 credit repair companies in America, and like 300 at this event.
Okay.
And for the last 18 years, it's fascinated me. All of these gurus, I've never seen any of them at one of these events.
Oh.
And these events are put on, and we have speakers like Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, the Federal Trade Commission, the CFPB. That's who's there educating, teaching us.
Right.
So it fascinates me that all of the so-called social media experts never go to any of they just keep regurgitating the same garbage over and over again.
Yeah.
And one of those things they say all the time is stuff like the average millionaire has 5 streams of income. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
I've heard stuff like that, and diversifying your income streams. I mean, a lot of it comes down to where in your career are you, where in your life are you. If you're young, go all in on one thing is what I think.
Exactly.
As you get older and as you invest and your money is coming from investments, start to diversify a little bit and protect those
you can't,
assets that you built.
It's going to be extremely difficult to become wealthy on 5 different income streams.
Because you can't become an expert in 5 different areas.
You focus on one,
Yeah.
and then you invest your extra income in other things. And that's what you're doing with your real estate.
For sure.
And then if you needed that, you can live off of it. But if you don't need it, you just keep rolling it.
Yes.
And just keep reinvesting it and reinvesting it. So
Yeah, my wife and I call it, say that we're building a money machine.
Yeah.
in our minds. So it makes it a little more tactile.
Mhm.
And we're like, okay, so we invest into this real estate. So the way that we started, though, I think maybe interesting to some of your viewers is I was running my business. I was solely focused on that. We were raising kids. We had little kids, and we had moved to Boise. And we didn't know what to do with the extra money that the company was producing.
Mhm.
And so we had, listened to some Dave Ramsey stuff, and we were like, all right, we're going to pay off the house. That's what we're going to do.
Horrible idea. Horrible idea.
Okay. So I would argue that, yeah, I mean, it depends how you look at it. So we just started throwing money into the house because we weren't really looking to make broader investments at that point. Now, interest rates hit 2%, and we've got all this equity in the house. And at that point, we decided, like, okay, I don't think this seems like the slowest way to get there. Now that we've kind of talked to some people, we've found some people in real estate in our lives, and they kind of told us what they were doing. And we're like, oh, that seems like a lot faster to get to where we want to go. So then we rolled that out of the house and into that property over by the Whitewater Park.
So you got a loan on your primary residence.
We refinanced. Yeah, we did a cash out refi.
Yeah.
And
now you have debt on the house you live in at 2%, 3%.
At 2%. Yeah.
So
which is nothing.
That's way smarter.
Way smarter. Yeah. But like, if you don't know what to do, stack cash up somewhere.
Yeah.
So that when you learn what to do, that you have something to deploy, right? Because we could have just tried, we could have bought fancy cars.
Yeah, that's
for
what
instance,
a lot of people
do
do.
some
Cars
like
and
that.
watches and houses and
right.
boats and just garbage.
But we didn't do any. We were just like, we're just going to pay up. I mean, we did the 529 accounts for the kids.
Yeah.
Education was super important. So we did that first, and then we just started plowing money into the house. And it was appreciating at the time too. So we, got a lot of money out of that to go do the next venture.
Yeah, the reason I say it's a horrible idea to pay off a mortgage is even at 6%, I could do the math, but I don't have the calculator here to do it. But essentially at 6%, it's free money. It's free because you get to deduct it.
Right.
If it's under $750,000 and it's more than $15,000 in interest, which at 6% it probably is. At 2-3% it might not be. But the other part with inflation and with leverage, the stock guys always say, well, the stock market over the last 100 years has done 10% a year and the average real estate does 5%. But
times 5.
Yeah, but real estate is leveraged.
Once you leverage it, yeah.
It's 20% down.
Right.
So it's not $100,000 of, you buy $100,000 of stock, you have to put down $100,000.
Right.
If you take $100,000, you buy a $500,000 house.
Right. Which
now
is bigger. 10% of 100,000 or 5% of 500,000?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's what we realized. Yeah. Once our wheels started going, we wanted to get into investing more because we were really just building our income at that point, which I think is a great thing to do when you're young, for sure.
The other part of it that a lot of people don't realize is we live in such a litigious society. In 2019, actually it was 2020, my girlfriend came from La Jolla to visit me, and I have this fetish. I like clean.
Okay.
So I grew up not too far from here in Parma, which is about 45 minutes away.
I've been there.
And no running water, no electricity, in a shack. We raised fighting roosters, and then we broke primarily Mustangs. Okay. So we could buy these Mustangs, the wild horses, from the Hawaiis for like $20-$30. And then we could break them and then sell them for $3,000.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing was we raised fighting roosters, and we would ship them to Arizona, and they would do the illegal cockfights and that thing. But we raised these roosters.
That's wild. Yeah.
But we were poor. So we didn't have food to feed the chickens, but we needed to raise like really strong chickens. So what my stepdad would do is everybody in Parma knew that if you had a dead animal, cow, horse, goat, whatever, you would have to pay someone. It's quite a bit of money to pay someone to come out with a tractor, pick it up, put it in a trailer, take it to the dump. So he would take it for free. And then he would bring it to our house and leave it in our front yard or our backyard or our side yard. And then the flies would show up, the maggots would show up, and there would be a rotten cow in our front yard. So it's
the chickens would eat all the maggots.
And then chickens eat all the rabbit, the rotten meat, and they eat the maggots and all that stuff. In the wintertime, we would burn tires because the man that owned the property would go to the tire places and they would pay him to take the tires away. And he would take it to his 80-acre farm out in Parma and just stack it up. And there was just huge piles of tires.
Mm-hmm.
With no foresight or no, like, what's going to happen
What's
in the
the
future,
end game?
right? There's no end game.
Yeah.
So that's what we burnt for winter, for
Jeez.
fuel. He would like literally cut up these tires. So
They burn hot too, don't they?
They burn really hot.
Yeah.
And really black, sooty.
Oh, yeah.
Dark.
Yeah.
And so I was the dirty kid
Mm.
because of the winter. So anyway, so I have this fetish where I like things really, really clean.
Okay. Makes sense.
So I will take my my vehicles to the car wash once or twice or 3 or sometimes 7 days a week.
Okay.
Pretty much every day I go out for coffee because I work from home.
Uh-huh.
And I'll take my car to the car wash because I like it super clean.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend was with me. And I said, hey, I'll go inside and get a Starbucks if you take the car through the car wash, because I had to pay with my phone. She didn't have her purse with her. So she went into the car wash at Linder and Ustick or whatever the road is up there. I didn't know she'd never been through a car wash before. Apparently in San Diego, the way it works is you drive in and you put it in park and then like it sprays around you.
Oh.
She'd never been in one where you drive in and it drags you through a tunnel. So she got in there and did not put it in neutral. So ultimately, she bumped into the brush, which bumped into the car, shut the whole thing down.
Sure.
When I come over, they're looking at the guy's bumper. He's got a little scratch on it. I don't see any scratch on my truck at all because she actually never hit him, but the brush hit him. And because 2 cars touched the brush, it shut it down. So back to litigious. Next thing I know, he sued me for $100,000 for whiplash, a broken wrist, chiropractic, like all of this stuff. And this is inside a car wash tunnel where it's dragging you. So you're not even doing 1 mile an hour.
Right.
And there was a little tiny scratch on his car, nothing on mine.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking to him, he figures out I'm a business owner. And so he comes after me for $100,000.
Wow.
And because we both had Geico, that's how I found out he was claiming whiplash, because they interviewed me like,
okay,
were you driving down the road when you hit him? I'm like, no, we were like in a car wash. So back to your house. The reason it scares me, and I say it's a horrible idea to pay off your house, is there are people out there like him.
Sure.
That if they can take something from you. So the house that I live in has 5 times the amount of debt on it than it's worth. So one of the things that I do for my clients, is, in addition to reducing their taxes to nothing, is we will put their businesses so far in debt through other businesses that we set up through UCC 1 liens. So I have one of my forum mates, I'm meeting with him tomorrow, and he just bought a house. And when it's done, he'll be $10 million in debt on that house. So what happens with that is someone goes to sue you and they pull up and it's like a $2 million home, but you got $10 million of liens against it. Those ambulance chasers go away.
Yeah.
The frivolous lawsuits go away.
The attorneys won't take it. Yeah.
The attorneys won't take it, because when they see that, or they see your business and they're like, oh, your employee did something and now we're going to come after you because you're the rich business owner.
Right.
And your business is $100 million in debt and you're doing $3 million a year in revenue, and they just go away because they're never going to get anything.
Right.
Because there's part of, it's called first in line, first in time, which means the first lien filed. So if anybody listening, if you have a house paid off or even don't have it, I always recommend my clients put a lot of debt against that, file a lot of liens. And there's a proper way to do it. You can't just go make up stuff. You have to actually create a line of credit from a business and then put on the house, because it just keeps the ambulance chasers away. Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad to hear that you refinanced that, pulled it out, because now look at you got 7-8 doors and it's a cash cow. It's a money machine. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And if that money was sitting in the house, a house is not an asset. It's a liability. Because if you look at the definition of liability or asset, a liability takes money from you, an asset puts money in your pocket. Right. The house you live in does not put money in your pocket.
Right. But your investment properties, I would argue, are assets. But your
They are
primary
assets.
is a
Yes.
liability. Yeah. I would agree with that.
And eventually, you're going to sell it, because the only way to get money out of your house is to sell it or refinance it. And the problem is, if something happened to your credit or you lose your income, you can't get money out of your house. If you have a 400 credit score, no job, even if you have 100% equity, banks will not, they can't, their systems, their guidelines aren't not going to give you, if you have $1 million house free and clear and you need $400,000, they're not going to give you a loan.
Yeah.
If you have no way to pay it back. So I always tell people, get a mortgage, and then always get a line of credit on that house and keep that line of credit, because that's an ATM machine if you use it properly.
Yeah.
Versus going out and buying watches and boats.
Yeah.
Do you have collections, charge-offs, even repos on your credit report? Let me tell you what not to do. Don't ignore it and don't overpay it. See, most people either panic or they pay full price, or they bury their head in the sand and let their credit rot until they get sued. At Fortress, we help you restructure your debt, settle it for a fraction of what you owe. And because of the way we negotiate with the banks and the collection companies, we often can get it removed from your credit report as well. Now, a lot of the time, the creditor will agree to delete it up front. This isn't a trick, it's a strategy. So click the link in the bio to learn more, or go to fortressu.com. So what's your, when you started the first business, and even with the new business now, did you bootstrap it, or did you go out and get business loans and leverage credit to make everything work?
Yeah. So the first business, I just saved up $20,000. That was my big business plan. I said, if I have $20,000, I think I could make a business go. And so we did. What we did there is I made this huge Excel spreadsheet of all the happy hours around, because we like to go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
And we would just hit the happy hours. We'd get $1 slice of pizza, $1 beer, and hang out. Same lifestyle, nothing changed. Just the bank account was just going up.
Yeah.
Got the $20,000, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Started it and bootstrapped it from there. So that was the first business. This next business will probably be venture backed to grow it to the scale that I want it to go to.
Yeah, just a lot of the technology, I think we're funded as of right now. So my blockchain company, we were looking for $5 million, and we had many people offering the money.
Sure.
We just don't want to be in business with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we got funded today. But
congrats,
with
cool.
It's going to be good. I'll find out when we get done with this.
Nice.
With technology companies, I think it'd be very difficult to bootstrap that.
Yes.
Because what's the term? There's something of scale where if you go so long with bootstrapping, someone else is going to beat you to it. There's no such thing as an original idea.
No. Yeah. And it's the pace at which you get there, the pace at which you can get market saturation and be the primary player in the market. It is a race.
It is a race.
Yeah.
Because if you come out with the idea and you start it, someone else has got it.
Yeah.
And you got to beat them there.
Right.
We have an idea that you and I were talking about at coffee, that once we get our blockchain with tracking rare earth minerals and carbon credits and methane gas and that stuff, Amanda and I have this pet project that has to do with restaurants and resorts that I think it's going to be a gangbusters. So
cool.
It's going to be really cool. I just can't say what it's called, because as soon as I say it, someone else is going to be listening and go, I'm going to go do that.
Sure.
Now with AI, it doesn't take much to do anything. I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, I'm going to go to college and learn how to build websites and do this. And I'm like, that is such a stupid idea.
Today, yeah. It was a great idea a decade ago, though.
You can just go on to ChatGPT, and within, if you understand it, it'll build your website. And I mean, it does a lot if you can figure out how to use AI.
Yeah. I built a whole demo of the Death Row Meal app just with AI.
Yeah.
No technical skills whatsoever.
Yeah. And now you have to go out and get some people to make everything work, but you can get
a working prototype with zero technical skills, and it looks good too. Like the design is great. I'm like, I was very impressed.
And then you go and then you can take it to an engineer
Yes.
and say, versus here's an idea. This is what I want to do. And now you got to try to get an engineer to be creative.
Right. Yeah.
You know, where with AI, you were able to create it, get the basic.
Just give it to them and say, make this work, make this functional. Yeah.
So another question for you. What's your favorite tax strategy? I probably should have gave you these questions up front, but I kind of like to see what people say.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, my favorite has been cost segregation analysis and accelerated depreciation.
Yeah.
And I had a question for you. Do you think 100% bonus depreciation is coming back this year?
I think it is.
I think it might be.
I think the big, beautiful bill will be approved by July and it'll be backdated. And then things are going to go crazy.
Yeah. Because it was going to be backdated to January 20th. Is that correct?
January 1st, January 20th. I don't know if that matters,
I think it was inauguration day was the symbolic
probably
piece of it. Yeah. I think there's bipartisan support for it. And the administration obviously has an appetite for it. So I'm hopeful that it does as well. Without the bonus depreciation, like right now it stands at 40%. I don't know that that's my favorite tax strategy. At 100%, I really like it though.
Are your kids on salary?
They are not.
Yeah. So that's $30,000 of income that you could take out of your S election, your S corp.
Yeah.
And put it in your kids' bank accounts and pay no income tax. So with your income bracket outside of the cost segregation, you and your wife so we live in Idaho, which is 5%. Federal's 37%. So that's 42% plus self-employment tax. That's 57% tax bracket on your first 200,000, 42% after that. So that 30 grand, that's $12,000 of tax that you don't have to pay if you put your kids on salary. And the way you would do that is you hire your children to be models.
Right.
And so a little bit, you can't do it through your S corporation, whether it's an LLC tax as an S or an actual corporation tax as S. You'd have to have a sole proprietor business or another sole member LLC, because S corporations have to pay payroll taxes where sole proprietors don't. So your S corp could hire your sole member LLC for advertising, marketing expenses, transfer 30 grand to your LLC. Your LLC now can pay your kids $15,000 each. And now that's 100% tax deductible for your S corp, tax free for your children. And now you can take that 15 grand and go do whatever you want. You can go buy another Airbnb. You can start Roth IRAs for your kids. You can pay for a vacation to go to Disney World if you want. So that's another 12 grand that you could be wiping out, which a lot of people, they know of it, but they don't do it. And it's primarily because most people trust their CPAs to tell them what they can do. And CPAs are great. And they're great at filing taxes, looking at the past and creating a ledger and filing it. CPAs are forbidden by the IRS to create tax strategies, which most people don't know that. And so I relate it as if you are playing football and you're down 14-0, you call timeout as a quarterback. You don't run over to the referee and ask the referee what's the next play to score. You go to your coach.
Right.
But what most people do is they run to the referee, aka the CPA.
Right.
And the CPA cannot tell you. They can only tell you what the rules are. They can't tell you what to do. Whereas if you hire someone like me as a tax strategist, I'm going to give you the strategy. Then you go to your CPA and say, hey, I want to do this. And because you brought them the strategy, now they're legally allowed to implement the strategy. But they can't give you the strategy unless you bring it to them. So kids is a big one. You know, my kids, when they were little, I used to own a construction company. I paid them 25 cents to pick up after the job site was done. I built high-end custom decks. And so we're sometimes 20, 30 feet up in the ground, above the ground, building these multi-story outdoor living rooms. And if you dropped a couple screws, you did not go down the ladder 30 feet to get a screw.
Right. Yeah.
So we'd clean up, and I paid my kids to do it because I didn't want to pay my skilled carpenters to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the first times that my daughter started showing her entrepreneur spirit is back in like 2004. So she would have been 14-ish, somewhere in there. 2004, 2003, 2004, when the real estate market was going absolute crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was putting out these signs, I buy homes,
Right.
the yellow signs.
Yeah.
And instead of paying for the signs to be pre-printed, I paid my 13, 14-year-old daughter to write, I buy signs and my phone number on it. And I was paying her like $1 a sign or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I came home and there's like 10 kids in the living room drawing signs and she's paying them $0.25 a sign.
Yeah. That's great.
So, but I'd hired my kids all through elementary school and in high school, where I never bought my kids clothes. I never got my kids food. I never paid for their movie tickets. I never sent them to cheerleading camp. I never paid for it. I made them pay for it. And that sounds bad on the face of it. But what I did is I would pay them from the business, and then I would use their bank account to pay for the food, to pay for the clothes, pay for cheerleading camps, modeling schools, or whatever. So it's a way that the code is 99%. The way it's set up is how to legally not pay taxes. And if you can just understand that, you can eliminate 40% of, you can eliminate 100% of your taxes, but you're basically saving 40% of your income.
Yeah.
And with business owners, that's our business. Many times that's our biggest expense is taxes.
Yep.
And you got to work twice as hard to make the same amount of money. And it all started when I was 17. I went to work for this very wealthy man, and he taught me. He says, not as important how much money you make, it matters how much you keep.
Yeah.
Because if you can keep 40 to 50% more, you can now scale so much faster.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite, is the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Putting the kids on salary. And then with your food app, it's really something. The next time you get that value pack, the coupons that I know I look through it and I usually throw it away, but next time you get that, open it up and you'll see that 10 to 15% of the ads will have a kid on it. And like, what is a kid stand in front of a garage door?
Right. Yeah.
But it's because it's the owner's kid.
Right.
And so now it's a modeling.
Right.
And they're paying for their likeness to be on this value pack.
Right.
So it's a way to leverage your kids, because 15 grand, once they go to college, it goes to $35,000.
Oh.
So now the business can technically write off sending your kids to college. Still do your 529, still do your 401ks and all that, but just a way to throw some more money out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely have to start considering that, because it's not something that we had considered very strongly up until this date. Our goal is to buy a property a year and do the cost segregation analysis and just keep rolling that way. So pay no taxes instead of what we would have paid to taxes. That's a down payment on another property, and just keep doing that. Now at 40% bonus depreciation, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, right.
But if it goes back to 100%, we're back in business on that.
Well, that's an extra 30 grand now you have for down payment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's technically an extra 12 grand.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're saving 12,000 on the taxes, but still it's 12 grand. It's worth the 1-page document that you have to create and put together. So to write that off, and then once they go to college, then it's even better. So, well, John, has been fun. I'm sorry I'm was coughing a little bit, so hopefully
you seem to catch your stride.
Too much.
No worries.
Do that, but
thanks
for being on. So
thank you for having me on.
How do we find? When will the website will be open soon or up? Like Death Row Meals?
deathrowmeal.com.
Okay.
So you can go there now, and you can kind of check some things out. We're going to have, within the next couple of weeks, we'll have some content that we're going to drop that should be fun and funny. We're trying to keep it pretty light and have a good time with it. But then, we'll be launching shortly. So anyone who's local, who's watching this, hit me up and we'll bring you to the launch party and have a good time.
So John, if someone wanted to follow you on social media, where would they go?
So on all the socials, we're at Death Row Meal. And look us up. We're going to start posting some pretty interesting stuff. So it'll be great to connect.
Cool.
And we'll be on the app stores. So Google Play and the Apple App Store. So for downloads, that may take maybe in a month or so. So
awesome.
keep an eye out for that.
See that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for being on.
All right. Thanks, Rondi.
Yep.